Hey, it is your buddy. Peace and harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question. And that is, can a narcissist or does a narcissist play dumb? Even though, despite the fact that they're intelligent, they seem to be really acting as if they are stupid. In other words, putting sort of a persona of being aloof or not really cluing in on the basics. And I feel that this is a great viewer question because it shows you the degree of persona or aloofness that we see in the covert narcissist. In other words, how could this individual, the viewer, his father, basically for 41 years, all he remembers is him watching the TV. All his memories are just centered around this person and the TV, as if, why would they stare at the TV and not their only son? So this is very hurtful. This causes a lot of unresolved issues and a lot of pain if you feel that no matter what attempts you would make to get their attention, to get their approval, so that they can learn about who you are, so that they can get to know your dreams, your feelings, your wishes, your desires, so they can get to know you. This would seem point blank obvious. How could they be so stupid? How could they be so aloof? How can they be so inconscionable or unthinkable? How can they miss this one? I think is the question. And so it's really to understand that the covert narcissist or the covert psychopath, they will play aloof. They will play dumb. They'll play stupid, and then not forget that, they will forget that they've done something, even though they have committed an act, let's say, of ignoring. And you confront them and, I wasn't ignoring you. We were just, watching TV and, or we were just on our way out somewhere, or we were busy, they will be aloof. They will be untouchable. They will be outside of that etheric energy, that appropriate space distance, within your physical realm, within the physical entity. In other words, they will always remain untouchable. Hence is the win. And so especially when it seems obvious that this person is, just slipping through your fingers, it's to understand that oftentimes if there is no empathy, you can't share a reality between the two of you. There's always this feeling of falseness. There's always this feeling of imbalance. The scales are tipped and not in your favor. Things are always about them, even when it's like your birthday, even when, you're sick. Everything is always about them. How can they use that opportunity to make themselves look good? How can they basically, the question is like, how can they be so stupid or really steal your energy? It's to understand that these manipulators are on a whole nother level, that oftentimes you cannot share space with. You cannot share etheric space, meaning you can live in the same house, but you don't really share the space. This person can be very aloof, and because of their lack of empathy, there's the feeling that you cannot share perspective. You cannot share a conversation. You can't share an outlook. You can't share an emotional space together. And this might make them seem like, how can they be so stupid? How can they be this ignorant? I think is really the question. And it is to understand that the narcissist and the covert psychopath, it is that they don't ever feel that they are in the wrong. They feel that they're so entitled and want everything to be about them, and then they cause others to play along with this persona. So that's how they really secure the win, is they're always looking for supporters. They're looking for people who will, talk about them, talk when they're not there, leave you wondering about them, leaving thinking about them, either in, wondering what just happened, or why don't they get my perspective? So you're constantly having to ruminate and think about them. And so this is really then how they do steal your energy. If you have ruminating thoughts, you're constantly, thinking about and processing an experience. You're constantly thinking about them. They seem to have this negative allure. It's sort of like you can't rip yourself away. You can't pull yourself away. That is because of the boundary violation. If you feel you don't have that shared space, it's because of the boundary violation. In the situation of someone, and we're going to discuss this in terms of how it really, I feel, plays out with someone who is psychopathic. They help themselves to everything. There are no rules, there are no boundaries. In the mind of the psychopath, rules are only there to control those people who are empathetic or the rest of society. In other words, they feel so superior then because they don't have this emotional content. They don't pick up on emotions. They don't resonate fear because they have this high sensitivity to dopamine. It causes them to beyond judgment, so supersede or bypass judgment. They feel that they have the right to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, to whom they want to do it. It's beyond entitlement. So it's a whole nother dimension. It's a whole nother energetic field. It's how they cause distortion. They cause people to constantly be thinking about them through the way they position themselves, the way they position their body, the things that they say to pull out your attention and information the way that you normally would not process. So they cause you to look upon, and it's a deliberate sort of manipulation of your energy, your focus, your attention, how you think about things, how you process things. It's really, they sort of obliterate all that within you. They annihilate all that within you that is you and make you feel they make you feel invisible. So if there is somebody who cannot validate you in any sort of or they can't, validate, meaning mirror or reflect you physically, emotionally, psychologically, or spiritually, you're going to feel invisible. And the psychopath has a manufactured, mimicking sort of relationship with others. In other words, it is not genuine. It is completely 100% manufactured. It is all designed to manipulate. And the extent and the gravity of this is really spellbinding. The degree to which they can manipulate and control and hurt others, and really talk about them and really cause their demise. So it is to understand that when you feel, how could this person not pick up on this, especially in the psychopath, they don't have any sort of human values. They don't value people. They don't value relationships. Their kids and people are really just the same as objects. So just as you might not worry about a lamp when you're away, just as the way a psychopath does not worry about you when you're away. You are merely a physical object. They don't resonate. They don't pick up on the emotions. And it is, yes, it is scary. It's the degree to which these people are antisocial, and the degree to which they can fool and deceive is spellbinding. So if you've been caught in this, or you're feeling like, how can they be, or, and then let's look at sort of the lesser degree of someone who is narcissistic, who has this sort of self-importance and what I would call like extremely narrow-mindedness, that they are so focused on the TV and they're so not focused on you. It is to understand that the narcissist is all about them. It's all about what they want, what they need. It's like that's all that matters. You might perceive it as very, very narrow-minded or a one-track mind, but this is what they want and this is what they're going to get. There is no room for discussion. And especially when it comes to emotional connection, if someone does not have empathy, if they lack empathy, meaning the capacity to feel another feelings or relate to another feelings in the way that they can have this sort of satisfying of your needs, it's just not in their ability. It is not in their wheelhouse. They are emotionally ill-equipped or unequipped. In the state of the psychopath, they are not equipped. But the problem with this is that then you feel that there's a big void in the relationship. So really the solution is you can't go to that source to meet the void in your relationship. You're going to the wrong source. If you're looking for that parental love from someone who can't give it, then you have to say, I'm looking in the wrong place. I'm looking for love in the wrong place in the situation. It is unfortunate, but you cannot look to satisfy your emotional needs from these types of people. If you do, really, it becomes only an exercise of futility. It becomes very unsatisfactory. It becomes very unfulfilling. And so, you have to understand that your emotional needs cannot be met from this venue, from this person, from this individual, who has all the traits and qualities that you're describing. So those people who are tuned out, they are not tuned into you, their own precious family member. It is to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. You are precious. You are their only son. You are a person of value. And to have this not reflected, of course, is hurtful. It's extremely hurtful. And whether this is done intentionally or not is, well, we can ask the question, we can ask this all day, but we are only then, engaging in an exercise of futility. So you then have to understand and ask yourself, how can I then value myself so I can then find somebody who can value me in like energetic match? Because if you're always feeling unfulfilled, unresolved, then those people who could be your partner or give you the love that you're seeking will pass you by, or you will alienate them. You will push away the very people who could make your life and enhance your life to the next level and to the next, where you want to be, where the love is reciprocated. A person who has empathy, who can give you the time of day, who isn't so aloof, who isn't so distant. And you also then have to realize that you don't want to play the games of the narcissist. You don't want to play the empty games of the psychopath. You don't, as I say, you don't want to then step into the boxing ring. To do is only to hurt yourself. When you cross that line and then you start, trying to pull, as I say, blood from a stone, or you're trying to get empathy from a narcissist, or you're trying to get recognition from a psychopath, someone who is not capable of this, but they are extremely adept at making play as if. So as if they are the friend, as if they are the intelligent one, as if they have. So it's all a manufactured persona, and then they can drop it just like a hot potato. It is what they have to do. To them, it's business as usual. But for them, it is everything in life is they feel that everything is there to control the simple-minded, i.e. the people with empathy, with, a heart. So, psychopaths might be between 1% to 4% of the population, narcissists, who knows, whether, all that is up for grabs. That's not going to be the focus of your, of your research and your studies, because what you have to understand is that there are going to be these people, and you have to understand that your way through it is to understand the cause has created the effect. In other words, the cause has created this type of personality, and to leave them alone. Don't try to get attention, love, or, even furthermore, take the fall for their blow. In other words, the psychopath is very adept at, once you expose them, they're very adept at turning it around on you and then making you out to be the bad guy. It's because they don't have an emotional memory that when you try to call them out there or have a discussion after you've had a big fight, it's as if it didn't happen, as if there's no, it doesn't catch, does not accumulate in their emotional reservoir. They don't have one. And so people don't understand that until you've encountered someone like this, it's very difficult to explain this to other people, but there is no emotional sort of learning growth within this person. It's all about how they can manufacture and manipulate. And if you feel this, how can they do this? How can they be so cold? How can they be so callous? How can they be so ignorant? It's because this person they lack empathy. They don't have it going on. So for you to try to seek this resolution within them is, once again, you're not going to get the closure, the answers that you're looking for. To try to change these people and to make yourself right is going to be a lifelong of misery. And so it is best for you to understand that some people, they just don't have it going on in empathy. They just don't have the heart. They are just not on that energetic level. They are on a whole nother dimension, and it is okay for them to be outside of your emotional reach. Don't try to overextend yourself or furthermore denigrate yourself and take the blame, take the fall for this person. Don't try to beat yourself up because of their lack. Don't try to turn things inward and then try to appease this person and people please this person. Oh, you're right, it was just me. Now that they've told the whole family or the whole workplace or the whole community, whatever it is, this is how these people are. It's like you hear about, corruption in government. I mean, you just don't want to be a part of that machine. You don't want to play the game. And so it's best for you to understand that to get your needs met, you might want to consider the bigger picture, i.e., there's other people in the world, in the universe, who are good, empathetic, caring people and who can be as that relationship to you, who can satisfy those needs that you're feeling you so gravely miss. And so it's to understand that it is important to shut the door there and perhaps then open the door inward and open the door to others. This might take it some time, but don't give up on it. Begin to, cast your pearls at people who can appreciate it. There's a saying, don't cast your pearls at swine. In other words, don't cast your wisdom at people who can't receive it. Don't cast your goodness to people who will only deflect badness to you. Don't give your time and your energy to that which you wish to be free from. And instead put it someplace else where it can bring back returns of value and warmth and a feeling of safety, security, serenity, and true relationship. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out.